What is up, guys? This is MaxCal4, and we're going over a quick guide for Frontlines. Alright, so Frontlines is one of the modes that you can play. Is at the bottom right here. As of right now, there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maps if you have DLC. 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2 in the snow, 3 versus 3 in Crimea, Volga, and then 4 versus 4 on Curse, which is pretty awesome. So they're also planning to add another 7 maps. As you can see on their posts, they're adding frontline maps coming up pretty soon. They're going to be adding 3 more Finland maps. Looks like one's going to be 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, and 3 versus 3. 2 would look like they're going to be in the summer. One's going to be in the winter. There's some pictures of that. Pretty cool. You can see a little Stug version. Some bunkers built in, and it looks like it's going to be some beautiful maps. In addition, we have Operation Cobra 1 versus 1. Bastogne looks like 2v2. Normandy looks like 3v3, and Siegfried Mines looks like it's going to be a 4v4 for the Allies and Liberation. So that'd be cool to have some maps there. Awesome looking King Tiger. Not sure what the hell that is. Big ass gun. And Siegfried Line probably, as you can see, the German gun in place. But those are the options that you can play. As for setting up the game, it's pretty simple. You can do Axis versus Allies, specific nations, so you can do Axis versus Axis if you want. I would typically do Axis versus Allies. Have team A or B. If you want to change them, you can change this to Axis. If you want to be Axis, change this to Allies. If you want to be Allies, XP, or you can do test mode. Then you have late war, mid war, early war. All right, so we'll just do mid. Mission options, you can make it daytime or nighttime if you want. Up to you. And then mission duration, so you can actually change it to be a longer game or a shorter game. So we can change it to be a 30-minute game, so it's not quite as much. Alright guys, as the attackers, one thing to consider is you're going to be able to use these things multiple times because you're going to have a lot more CP points than normal. So you might want to get something with the airstrike to take out hard to break through positions, or get some nice artillery. Something that'll help you actually break through the lines, because their defenders are going to have some great defenses. If you were playing a player, great defenses. If you're playing AI, they're just going to swarm over there and there's going to be mines everywhere. Just keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and hop in. Right, guys, so once you spawn in, you'll have roughly 3 minutes and 30 seconds to prepare, right? So right off the rip, what I like to buy is I like to get some regular squads. So some people will say get recon squads, but I would argue that it's not worth it. These recon squads are good in battle zones and domination, during actual conquest. But recon in this mode is not going to be very helpful, because you're going to be moving forward to the enemies at all time, and the extra little bit of sight really is going to help you. Just send a couple riflemen like these little dudes and have that be a recon, because it's not worth wasting it all on one recon squad. That's just my 2 cents. So after that, you definitely want to get artillery piece. These bad boys are very necessary. Get them with a ammunition truck, and make sure you keep position that ammo truck, so that way you can easily take him out of harm's way if worse comes to worse. Artillery, you want to bombard the points prior to advancing to them, and then once you're advancing, you want to bombard the point just a little bit further than you, so that way that you have that that way you have that little buffer, and you constantly have fire support, and this ammo truck will help him do that. Make it pretty easy for him. Also, useful things, officers can be useful. So since you're not using recon, you can just use these guys. And these guys are going to be able to see up to 200 meters with their binos. I don't know if you guys know about direct control. Get the binos out, number 1, and you'll be able to direct control. Obviously, you can't see anything right now, but that can be useful for your recon if you want to use it. I don't think it lowers your CP in this mode, which is annoying, but it is what it is. You get up to 225, so I'm pretty sure you can get them if you're missing them. Another highly useful thing is in this game mode, especially on the more open maps, is getting a sniper. Snipers will be very useful because these guys can just literally snipe guys. They're going to be in their defenses. These are ideal for sniping people out of foxholes, especially if you're in multiplayer and they're in pesky foxholes just littering the area. You definitely want these. In addition, I recommend getting some form of anti-tank. You usually like to get something cheap like a Martyr. If you're in earlier game modes, the Panzerjäger work, Jacksons, and I mean the Hellcat and the Su-76 can work for the Soviets. Just something that you can keep back and kill tanks as you approach them. I don't like to get that many mediums because there is a lot of mines. I like to be slow and methodical with my advances. Also, what you're going to want to get is field engineers. You might not need this for the right off the rip for fire support, but you want to bring it in pretty soon. See, as you can see, these guys have something that's very important that you'll need. As you can see over here, mine detector. You should go into item options, mine detector, and you're gonna want him to scan. All right, that's how you tell him to scan. You guys get them together. They can scan down the road. If you're playing AI, they put spam mines everywhere. It's crazy. So it can be very good to clear the roads. Keep your vehicles on the roads. Makes it more choke pointing, but or just clear the path through the enemy minefields. Just be aware of that. Last but not least, thing I like to get. Let's see. Looks like we're at a CP, and we'll see 139, 142. Yeah, it doesn't help. Last thing I do like to get is get some direct fire support as I'm approaching. Like a good flak can help out quite a bit. And then the only other tank I really like to get on here is the Stew. So this thing's 29 CP. So as soon as I lose some infantry, I'll go ahead and let him be purchased. We're gonna go ahead and move up our guys. And then, as you can see, you want to start bombarding as soon as possible. Just F6, and you're gonna have him start bombarding. As you can see, enemy AI will try to rush it. Usually catch some of these guys. If you're playing with players, then you probably would have someone that's reinforced a little bit better. The AI seems like they're buying a lot of light vehicles, and this is average AI, so they're not gonna be doing the best. Ooh, hell of a hit. But as you go ahead and take these sectors, you'll start to spawn up a little bit further, and the enemy will spawn further back. So it's slowly advancing. You go up these 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 8 sectors for every single what's it called? Every single player, right? So each defender has 8 sectors. So like in 1 versus 1s, the 1 versus 1 for the good old Barbarossa, you'll just have 8 sectors. So now if we're playing 2v2, we have double that, 16, and then so on and so forth. This is 3 versus 3, so there should be another row right over here, but that's non-existent because I only put 2 defenders. So as you get up here past the first fort, both of you and your defender opponent incomes will reset. So just keep that in mind. And as you push forward, the good thing to do is split up your squads. Make sure that they're in smaller groups as you move up. It can be very useful. As you can see, the AI will counterattack. This one they're counterattacking. It's mainly because these guys don't have as much income because I stole some of the income from them. But as you can see, you need to push up slowly and steadily, and go ahead and use the resources you had and use what I'm telling you to use, because it'll definitely help you out if you have a good composition. Definitely having the artillery piece and having direct fire, especially from stews. A lot of people like to use direct fire from those type of vehicles because it's very effective at clearing out large amounts of infantry, and it's still good against tanks at short range. So you'll be good to go that way. Now we're gonna move on. To the good old defenders and give you some defender tips. Alright guys, so defending, you gotta be very quick about how you do things. Go ahead and get some miners is what you gonna want to do. Some engineers. It's a good start to get. Like to get some infantry as well. So what you want to do right off the rip is start digging in and getting some good positions. So you have these miners, anti-tank mines. What you want to do is place your mines going down the road. You want to zigzag them because the enemy, especially AI, will try to spam the road as much as possible. You're trying to send a fuck ton of vehicles down here, and it gets kind of crazy. All right, let's see these guys. Same thing for these guys. Just get them. Just get mines down as much as possible. You have limited time, so you gotta take advantage of the time that you have. So that way you can get as many mines down as possible. After that, your good old engineers. These guys, you want them to be building it as much as possible as well. Try to choke point the infantry into one spot, because if you can get them choke point into one spot, the tanks into one spot, and that way you can make it a lot easier on yourself as you're defending. You're not gonna be able to afford that much right off the rip, so you want to bring in things that matter. So like a PaK 40 is gonna be very effective. Having an MG 42 is gonna be very effective. You have your your guys dug in is going to be very effective. So making sure that these guys get dug the hell in. It can seem quite overwhelming right off the rip as soon as they start bringing guys in, but you'll get used to it as you play a couple more. If you find your guys aren't getting in there fast enough, you can try to bring a truck. But as I said, you don't have nearly as much income, so you want to make sure you're spending all of it as possible. I mean, you can try to let's see. You can try to save some or send some for whenever you go to the second line, but I like to bring everything up. If you have multiple players, you're playing 2 versus 2 or 3 versus 3, then you have some guys dig in behind the lines. But I like to put almost everything into the first points because all or nothing, you know. I'm not just gonna not dig in the first line. Make sure you get as many foxholes up as possible. As you can see, my engineers are going to work. Doesn't look like they're going to get everything done, but as soon as they get done here, you can go start moving back to the next point because they can defend and help you out on the next point. Right, make sure you dig in your guns as well. Where's my machine gun? Dig him in as well. Get in your holes. Gotta make sure everyone's actually in their foxholes because it can be very bad if they're not. Alright, as we can see, we have the first wave coming up. And here we go. That's why you want to have them on the road versus AI. They're just going to send swarms of tanks right down the road. Got a double kill right there. Nice, right off the rip, taking out his T-20 and whatever the hell that armor car was back there. But the main road is going to be highly attacked, so you definitely want to take care of this. Make sure that you got good old defenses like this, because the enemy's going to swarm you with the amount of infantry right now. But I have MG42 and his flag. He's got as you can see, I'm really taking some decent losses as well. His Pack 48 is keeping me alive though. They literally will come up on top of you. It's pretty crazy. So make sure you're constantly sending in reinforcements to help yourself. See if you can pull it off. Nice. But I hope you guys get the gist. You guys attack, you guys defend. As a defender, you have about 30 as much resources as the attacker. You try to build as much defense as possible. Continue building defenses back here as you're preparing for the next wave, because that'll definitely help you. And make sure you're constantly sending in reinforcements. Artillery you can use, but just remember you don't have as many points, and you'll be definitely at a disadvantage. But thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys out there on the front lines. And goodbye.